Hey, gang. So, we've talked before about this guy that, buddy of mine who owns a billboard company. And it's so funny to me. I was talking to him the other day, and he's complaining about there's this one particular location where it's heavy oil field. And, how bad everything is. He can't get nobody to rent his signs. He's dropped the price. He's done this. He's done that. And, nobody will rent them. He's having trouble, blah, 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 blah. And I'm not making fun. I just think it's what I find humorous is how you can look at somebody else's industry and boom, I had ideas for this guy. I start throwing him ideas. I'm like, hey, what about this crazy idea? What about, instead of focusing on selling an individual or a particular billboard, why not sell a bulk of, or a bunch of billboards? Like, how many billboards you got? And he's like, oh, probably about 150 on that strip. I was like, okay, figure out, first of all, you've got to figure out, because I know you pay rent to the landowners and the paper or whatever, because it's not all digital. A lot of them are paper or vinyl. I said, surely you pay in something for that, so there's materials. Then you got to pay someone to put it in. So just think about this. And I said, figure out your cost. And imagine, wouldn't it be better than, instead of you advertising this billboard is available, one of the best things you could do is have it rented. And you come to somebody and you say, look, I'm not renting one billboard. I'm renting them in bulk. I'm renting 20 billboards, or I'm renting 30 billboards, or I'm renting 50 billboards, or I'm renting every billboard. Okay? And you mark it up just a teeny bit. You're not going to make much money on this, but you know what? Every time you put up one of your signs and it says that your sign is, that it says this billboard is available, you're losing money. Okay? Because you having to pay for it. You're paying for advertising. You're losing money. I said, what if you was to sell? I mean, one of the best things to me would be, the most impressive thing would be if I drove down that strip and saw billboard after billboard after billboard advertising some lawyer, for example. It would make an impression on me. Or if it was advertising some particular restaurant, or maybe it was advertising, I don't know, a photographer, right? I said, think about this crazy idea. Don't sell one billboard, sell all the billboards to one person. He was like, dude, that's a great idea. I mean, I got a client in particular that has given me a lot of good business. He said, I'd be almost willing to do it for him as a favor. He's always helped me out. Now I could help him out. If it gave him some business, that would turn around. That would be great PR down the road. That would be a good. I was like, see? Well, I just saw one of his billboards. In case I mentioned this story to anybody else before, and it appears he's done it. And I just think it's awesome that sometimes outsiders can look at an idea and come up with a very, very good idea. So, that's where things like Rotary, and that's where, networking, various clubs, where you can kind of tell these people, here's my problem, this is what I'm doing. Of course, they're not photographers, but a lot of times they're good business people, and they'll come up with a fabulous idea. And that fabulous idea might be just the thing that you never thought about. So think about that when it comes to your business, and look for ways that you can get some advice from outside the industry. Hopefully that'll help you out. Talk to y'all tomorrow. Bye.